Well, the first thing you have to do is figure out, with all of these Aquamatic valves you see here, is, is it a metal valve or a plastic body valve? That's going to be the key thing. So we figure out it's a cast iron Aquamatic valve. Aquamatic makes two different cast iron valves. One's used in water applications and one's used in air applications. They both use the same cast body and cap, and we have two valves here that you can see. This would be an air valve, and this is actually a water valve. And basically the difference between the two is this air valve uses some different material on the internals to cycle at a higher rate than the water valve, if I'm not mistaken.
So basically there's no outward difference.
Correct.
What you have to do is you have to know the application in which it's used for.
That is correct. Ultimately, the first question when you find out it's a cast iron valve is, what's your application? What's your process medium flowing through the valve? Is it water or air? Typically, water applications, you're going to look at water softeners, water filters. For air applications, they're on air dryers, sandblasters, sometimes large air compressors.
These use it for irrigation. A lot of irrigation uses the water, obviously water valve.
Cement trucks is another application, which I've learned, where they're mixing the cement mix with water and they're using an Aquamatic valve.
Now, are there any other materials of construction other than the two we have here, which are iron and stainless steel? Cast iron and stainless steel?
Not really. They had a bronze body valve, but they discontinued it.
They discontinued those?
It was all brass.
So what would you recommend in replacement? Because there will be some of these out in the field.
Right. Actually, what I believe the V42 series, you can get. I think you can get this in a brass cap and body. That would be the replacement for the actual brass valve that they were making, if I'm not mistaken. So
maybe limited to size, certain sizes. Because they're probably going to discontinue it because they don't have enough call for brass valves.
Right.
So they use stainless steel.
So then I know that there's a lot of different versions of the valves. How do you determine that? There's spring assist. There's, why don't you kind of go into a little bit of that?
Well, the older valves, past maybe a couple of years, year or two, they had the tags on them. And the tags would denote what's special about the valve. This particular valve here, being a water valve, more likely, this is a normally open valve, spring assist open. So that pretty much tells you what it is. Other than that, there's no special internal diaphragm materials, seal materials, and that type of thing. Once you get to the air valve, or could be hot water valves or whatever, this particular one says, one of the tags says an air valve. Then it may say spring assist open, spring assist closed, whatever the option may be is going to be on one of these tags. Now, you could use an air valve on water, but you normally wouldn't use a water valve on air because it's not designed for high cycling. Now, on the newer valves, Mike can tell you what they're doing on the newer valves now.
On the newer valves, what we're finding is the manufacturer is actually laser etching or cutting the actual 13-digit model number into the valve body itself. This particular valve has a model number V42C-0000-00000, which denotes it's a standard normally open valve, and the C indicates the size of the thread, which is 1 inch. It's a 1 inch pipe thread NPT.
Now that, from what I understand, those same body valves can do multiple pipe sizes depending upon how it's threaded on the end. Is that correct?
Correct. This particular 421 series valve, which is just kind of a 3-digit denotion number, you can have this in a 3/4 inch MPT or a 1 inch. They basically are cutting these threads into this valve body on the inlet and outlet. So this particular one with the V42C denotes that the C is 1 inch. If it was a 3/4 inch, it would have a V42B etched into this particular valve, and that would denote it's a 3/4 inch.
And the same applies to the 1.5-inch valve, which could be 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches. Then it'd be a D and an E, 1.25 inches being D. And then they go up to the other valve, which is can be either two different sizes, is the V42G and H, which is 2 inch and 2.5 inch. Same valve body. So it could be, if somebody's ordering a replacement, it's critical they know what size the pipe is. I mean, it could be 3/4 or 1 inch, and it looks it's the same valve. You look at it, and everything is the same.